Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. प्रातर्वैदिककर्मतस्तत्तदनुसद्वेदान्तसच्चिन्तया पश्चाद्भारतमोक्षधर्मकथया वासिष्ठरामायणात् सायं भागवतार्थतत्त्वकथया रात्रौ निदिध्यासनात् कालो गच्छतु नः शरीरभरणं प्रारब्धकान्तार्पितम् अज्ञानं त्यज हे मनो मम सदा ब्रह्मात्मसद्भावनात् संकल्पानखिलानपि त्यज जगन्मिथ्यात्वसंभावनात् कामं साधन साधनाश्रम परिध्यानादजस्रं त्यज क्रोधं तु क्षमया सदा जहि बलात् लोभं तु सन्तोषतः जिह्वोपस्थसुखः सभ्रमं त्यज मनः पर्यन्तदुःखे क्षणात् पारुष्यं मृदुभाषणात् त्यज वृथालापश्रमं मौनतः दुःसङ्गं त्यज साधुसङ्गमबलात् गर्वं तु भङ्गे क्षणात् निंदा दुःख अनिंद्य देव मुनिभिर्निंदा कथा संस्कृते. So we were looking at the second verse where the Acharya starts with Ajnanam as the fundamental DurvAsanA or the cause for everything. For the Mumukshu, gaining Jnanam and giving up Ajnanam is the main pursuit. And gaining Jnanam also involves Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So even after you have a certain clarity in knowledge, that knowledge can still be weak. It can be overcome by different habitual tendencies. In fact, those tendencies only we are discussing here. And the major sadhana for any mumukshu is that to reorient your very identity, that I am not an individual in space-time, occupying a particular body, mind, sense complex. In fact, I am this limitless conscious being in whom the entire space-time is, all the bodies are in me. That is the jnanam we are talking about. That is the Brahmatma Sadbhavana. Brahmatma means I am the limitless conscious being. Brahman is basically infinity or limitlessness. And I am the self of all, and all the beings are in myself. This is the vision we are talking about. And then in day-to-day life also, this jnanam, that aham brahmasmi, how will it actually manifest itself, let us say, correct? Because one who says that I am the limitless, I am not this puny individual, should also show that in the vyavahara. Okay, maybe others need not recognize that, but at least you cannot be saying that aham brahmasmi and be a dukkhi in vyavahara. That becomes a problem. So this jnana phalam, that's what we say, this jnanam is there. The result of this jnanam should be that even in day-to-day life, one has to have a certain leisure. This freedom from limitless limitations should reflect in the way one conducts one's life also. And even here, initially some effort is required till your knowledge is always available, till the knowledge that Aham Brahmasmi becomes Sahaja. The Nididhyasanam is very important. That is why here different other habitual thinking patterns are given and how to overcome them, so that your life, your thinking, the entire vyavahara, as we said, all your transactions in this world reflects or is in keeping with the vision of the Veda, is in keeping with this knowledge. So in this, we start with Sankalpan Akhilan Apityaja. So Sankalpan here means having some great plans and all that, correct? Many people are planning for the future. They even plan for the next life because they want to collect so much punya. All these things are there. Volitional activity, you can say, Sankalpan, or volition itself can be called as Sankalpa. But this Sankalpa itself, why one has to give up means because all these Sankalpas are springing from an understanding that I am a limited being in a particular body mind sense complex, and that body mind sense complex itself has to be seen for what it is, which is mithya. Not only the entire world is mithya, it includes this body mind sense complex also. Your very individuality itself is mithya because it is not there all the time. It comes and goes. So one has to reflect on that. And all these desires again are only implying that you are a wanting being. If you are really Brahman, you cannot be a wanting being. You do not want anything really. You are not wanting with respect to anything. So again, any desire, wants, all these things are implying that you are an incomplete, limited being. That is why that I am the one who is desiring itself is something a wrong notion. I am not a kami, nakama kami, like that Bhagavan says even in the Gita. And even from a practical standpoint, you can give up most of the desires, in fact, okay. Particularly binding desires, as we call it, because the problem with desire is you think that unless you accomplish that desire, you cannot be happy. That is the problem. Again, it leads to problems only. And even to fulfill the desire, you have to get hold of the means. And getting hold of the means itself is a problem. There are a lot of effort involved in everything. Okay. So by thinking about all that shrama, you ajasram tyaja means what? Forever you give up, perpetually, always. Okay. And again, the implication of giving up desire is that anger also should go away, because anger is nothing but a symptom of pain, and pain itself is there only because of unfulfilled desires, we can say. So any anger which is getting triggered in you, as a mumukshu, as a Vedantin, you have to analyze that. Maybe maintain some journal or whatever to understand yourself better. Because most of this pain is subconscious or unconscious. It may be this emotional pain can be there from childhood for various reasons. And you may have to process it now as an adult. In fact, as an adult, it may not even make sense to you, but it is there. So one has to process that so that you can resolve all these issues, correct? There is a certain resolution has to be there. Then only your mind can rest. in a state of shanti, correct? What we say, that is what is called shama. Shama, shanti are all from the same dhatu, sham only. So one has to have a certain shanti. You can't be agitated and still say that I have this knowledge. And again, how do we overcome all this anger? One way is to accommodate everybody. Kshamaya. Shama is a very interesting word. Can be used also as forgiving. Okay, you forgive people. People may do, everybody misuses their free will. Some people may do something to you which is unfair, unjust and all that. That is fine. But that is because of a certain background which they have. So my Guruji used to say that you have to use this one-step therapy. One step further, you have to look into somebody's behavior. Why they may be behaving like that? If you try to look at it, there may be some reason for that. You can try to understand that. And in that process, you will be able to forgive them, because most people themselves, they are in a way helpless, correctly. Unless they take effort to change their behavior, they are all triggered only. They are all reacting. That reaction itself is due to some other, whatever, emotional disturbances and pains which are there hiding underneath the subconscious. So you can look into it. The other point is to also look at whatever you are facing as your own karma. The prarabdha kantarpitam part applies always. That is another way of able to accommodate people. Kshama means one is forgive, I said, but the better word which my Guruji uses is accommodation. You are big enough now. You are the limitless conscious being. In fact, really you accommodate the entire world, correct? The entire world's existence is only because of you. That is the vision. Then you should be able to accommodate everybody, however they are, good, bad, evil, ugly, everything one has to accommodate. So that is the kshama we are talking about. In fact, the only thing which accommodates everything is space, physically, correct? Avakasha pradatru akashaha, like that we define, in fact, the lakshana for akasha is avakasha pradatru, the one who gives accommodation to everything. Like that, you become like the akasha, just accommodate everything but not touched by anything, correct? You cannot be touched really by anything because you are of a different order of reality. Anything which happens in the dream world really does not touch you, correct? Like that, anything which happens in the waking world also is equally the same. So you should be able to accommodate everybody, and therefore need not get angry or anything. Of course, sometimes you can show anger to get certain things done and all that. That's not the same as angrily reacting or getting triggered and all that, or getting overwhelmed by the emotion of anger. That's what we are talking about here. So krodham tu kshamaya sada jahi, always win over your own anger. There is no point getting angry. In fact, people also do not respect others who get angry, correct? They may accommodate you, in fact, and your anger due to other compulsions, but there won't be any respect for you or anything. Some people have a wrong notion that only by getting angry they are able to get things done and all that. That's not true. You don't have to get angry. In fact, people fear those who do not get angry but still take tough action, correct? You don't have to be angry, but you can be tough and you can get things done. Nothing wrong in that. Anger is a different thing. Anger is basically you are losing yourself in that. That's what one has to avoid. So whatever the situation may demand, you have to be tough for that. You can take hard decisions, hard action one can take again. You don't have to react in anger. That is the most important thing. And at the end of the day, you accommodate everybody. Unless they want to change themselves, you cannot change anybody. So don't think that you are going to change the world or anything. You can't change anybody unless they themselves want to change and they seek your help. Then you can help somebody to change. That is the only practical possibility, I think. And lobham tu santoshataha. So by being contented with what you have, correct? You also win over greed. Greed means what? Desire going to an extreme is greed, where you are ready to do anything wrong also to fulfill your desire. You are ready to do adharma to fulfill your desire, means that is greed. And this greed also one has to overcome by being content with whatever you have. In fact, to be happy, you don't require too many things. A human being can be very happy even looking at blue sky. It's free, correct? Or a starry night, a pleasant weather. These things nobody, you can't even buy, correct? It is given to us by Bhagavan. Small things are good enough for you to be happy. You don't have to have some expensive things or whatever, big possessions. In fact, possessions are a problem. You have to maintain and all that. Rich people have their own problems, in fact. I'm not saying that you have to be poor and all that. Poverty is again a problem. And being rich also is a problem. Everything has its own problems. So one has to, whatever standard of life you have, you are comfortable with, you can be content with that. And to be happy, really, simple things are good enough. One good cup of coffee also is good enough to be happy in the morning. So that's all it takes, correct? It doesn't take much. So then what is the point in being greedy and being ready to step over others' toes and all that, correct? You don't have to step over anybody else to really fulfill something. And as a result of that, don't think that you are going to feel good or anything. So this lobha, greed, also one has to give up. And that can come only when you are contented with whatever you have. And that is important. So these are all some of the important things to start with. Then so here you can see in the second verse, Acharya is talking mostly about your mind, correct? Your state of mind, your habitual thinking, all these things are addressed. Then the physical needs also now Acharya is addressing. Physically, how, in fact, many things people do for fulfilling the physical needs also, they do many wrongs, okay? And or they just blame the stomach for everything, correct? Papi pet ke wajah se and all they say, even in Hindi. For the sake of the stomach, for the food, I did this, I did that and all that, which may be true in some cases, okay? Those who are very poor and they are in desperate poverty and all that, they may be desperate to do certain things. If you are hungry and you don't get a required meal, then people can behave in strange ways. But as a mumukshu, one has to have a certain mastery over not only one's mind, but also over one's body. So here, body and prana also, all these things are all physiological activities also, correct? Associated with your body. So jihvopastha sukha sabramam tyaja. So jihva means tongue. Upastha is sexual organ. And there is a pleasure associated with sexual activity and eating and all that, correct? And people are attached to that. In fact, some people are very finicky or particular about all these things. I will only eat this, I will only eat that. Or they are crazy about, of course, in youth and all that, when your hormones are playing, you are in a different level. But even afterwards, certain people are attached to all these pleasures, and that is only going to lead you to trouble. Actually, overindulgence in anything, in fact, it will not be also pleasurable, because all these things have a law of diminishing returns, as I have told you already. Whatever, like the first ice cream you have, you can enjoy. If I give you 10 ice creams at the same time, you cannot really enjoy, correct? So that applies. There is a law of diminishing returns in all these things. Maybe if you have one ice cream in a week or something, still it is fine, health wise also, and even simple enjoyment, let us say. So moderation is very important. Okay. So do not overdo things. In fact, in the Gita, Bhagavan says, Yuktahara viharascha yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhascha yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Correct? So that is a very important verse. In all those things are coming here also, in fact. So the Jikhva Upasthanal is basically about ahara. Ahara can also mean what you consume, correct? Not only food, even through other sense organs. So there has to be a certain mastery over this, and also any indulgence has to be moderate. Or even those who are grihastha and all that, you cannot avoid all these things, correct? But you have to do things with a certain understanding, and also if there are some prohibitions and all that, you follow all that without any problem, and accordingly you lead your life. So in this, again, there is a certain Brahma is there for some people. That's what here the Acharya uses the word Brahma, means there is a certain delusional thinking that this is what is life all about and all that. That Brahma one has to give up. Only as though going after some physical pleasure alone is life, correct? In fact, that kind of a problem is more there in some societies, more than Indian culture. Other cultures, sometimes even those who are in 40s and 50s are all, again, they are desperate about all these things. They go for some hormone replacement, and I don't know what else they are trying now. Because for them, again, why is this a problem? Because it is only going to increase your dehatma buddhi, correct? All this eating and indulging in sexual activities and all that, it is only saying that you are nothing but this body. This whole knowledge is about you rising above the body consciousness, correct? So the dehatma buddhi one has to give up. That is the jnana we are talking about here. So that means you have to, even though depending on your role, if you are not a sannyasi, you may have to involve yourself in all these things, nothing wrong, but do it with the right attitude, in moderation, etc. That's what one has to say. And so give up any Brahma or a delusional thinking that this is the end in life or whatever. It's not, it cannot be an end. Seeking all these pleasures alone is the end in life. Some people live their entire life like that. In that case, they'll also have bad experiences you will have. Okay. And so look at all the dukkha involved in all these things. Even food is a problem. You eat too much, then what, after a certain age, in fact, there is a saying that up to the age 32 only, you are eating food. So this is an important thing one has to understand. Up to the age of 32, I think in some Ayurveda text it is there, I have read, but I am not able to recollect the exact verse. But the thing is, up to the age of 32, you eat food. After 32, food is eating you. correct? The more food you eat, that will eat you in the sense that it is going to cause problems to your organs, all this diabetes, high blood pressure, so many lifestyle related illnesses, which will affect the quality of your life. So after a certain age, having moderation in all these things in eating habits is very, very important, even from a pure health standpoint. But for a mumukshu, you also have to overcome this dehatma buddhi, as we say, correct? That I am nothing but this body consciousness one has to overcome. That is why you have to see that all these physical pleasures are not the end or anything like that. Of course, we are not denying that there is a pleasure or anything. That is there. That is how you have been made. Bhagavan has made us like that. But indulge in a proper manner, with the proper attitude, with moderation. In this manner, of course, there is a dukkha also involved in all these things. If you overindulge, all these things one has to see. Correct? So, sabramam tyaja manah paryanta dukkhe kshanad, it is said. So, dukkha ikshana means what? You are now seeing the difficulties in all these things. Okay? Whatever dukkha, they are all ultimately only going to lead you to any overindulgence will lead to problems. Correct? You eat too much, either your cholesterol will go up, sugar will go up, blood pressure is going to go up. All these problems. Obesity itself is a problem nowadays. Correct? In most rich countries, obesity is being talked about like a pandemic now. People are so obese, and that means it's a problem. So, gluttony is not a solution in any way. Okay, it is going to only lead to misery, dukkha. So that you have to see. Ultimately, so paryanta dukkha ikshanat means what? Ultimately, finally, this it will lead you to only dukkha. So hey mana, again here manas only is addressed here. Interestingly, hey manas, give up this brahma, this delusion that seeking physical pleasure is is the end in your life or anything. In fact, see the fact that it will only lead you to misery finally. Okay, that is the one part. Then what? Parushyam mridu bhashanatyaja. Again, give up harshness. See, parushyam means talking in a harsh manner. It's not necessary, correct? You don't have to talk. Even if you want to get things done, let us say, you don't have to be harsh or anything. Being assertive is different from being harsh or using unnecessarily harsh words, etc. In fact, in Tamil also there is a Tirukural, very nice, correct? Iniya ulavaga innada kural kaniruppa kai kavarandatre, like that there is a Tirukural is there. And so when you can get things done by speaking pleasantly, why do you have to speak harsh words? That is like eating an unripe fruit when there is a ripe fruit available, correct? So, kani iruppa kai kavarandatre means what? When there is a ripe and sweet fruit available, why are you consuming something which is unripe and not very tasty? This harsh words leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it leaves a bad taste in others also, those who are listening to you. No need to be harsh, correct? Satyam vada, priyam vada, hitam vada. Correct? That is the command for us. Even in the Dharma Shastras, they are very clear. Speak the truth, and even whatever is the truth, you speak in a pleasant manner. Otherwise, the other person is not going to listen to it. In communication, most important is what? Whether we are able to get across our point to the other person. It's not important that whether you are right or wrong. More important is whether you are able to get across and break the communication barrier and make the other person see whatever you are saying. For that, the way you talk, the way you communicate is more important even than what you talk, correct? So these are all some things one has to keep in mind. By just being harsh, don't think that people will listen to you or anything. They may be in a situation where they may not able to raise their voice against you, but they again lose respect for you, or they may just nod their head at that time but may not do anything. There can be passive aggression also people can show in such situations. Not only people, even your own children and all that, correct? So even disciplining your children, you don't have to be harsh, but you can be firm. Being firm is not the same as harsh again. That is another thing we have to understand. Assertiveness, firmness, and all are different. So one need not use harsh words. So how do you overcome harshness? By using pleasant words, or even the way you tell have to be pleasant. It cannot be harsh. Okay, so one part is about talking. And then what? The other other problem is you talk pleasantly, but you are all the time gossiping and all that, correct? That also is not useful for a mumukshu. So he says, Vritha lapashramam maunataha. So you are talking a lot of things, but they are of no consequence. Just gossiping about others. In fact, all this gossip also only shows a certain lack of contentment in you, because you are all the time thinking about others and what they are doing, etc. And somehow you are seeing their dosha and all that, correct? Whatever problems they have or whatever good things they have also, you look at it and then feel certain jealousy. All these things only leads to all this gossiping, backbiting and all that. So one has to avoid that also. So vritha shramam. Vritha alapa means to converse and talk and all that, but vritha means what? Waste, or whatever. See, talking unnecessarily. When there is no necessity, you keep talking. Wastefully, don't talk. Okay, indulging in loose talk or gossip only is called vrithalapa. And there is a shrama involved in that also. It is not, in fact, it is a shrama for others to listen to such a person also. If somebody is all the time gossiping, they come to you and gossip also. And it is a problem. But anyway, if you are a Vedantin, you have to accommodate that also. Okay. Shama. Anyway, so the person who is doing the vrithalapa has to recognize that it is a shrama for themselves and for the others who are listening to you. Therefore, try to overcome that by mauna, by remaining silent. In fact, initially you can do it by even practicing some mauna vratam and all that, correct? That's why in our culture, there are days when one is supposed to observe silence. Mauna vrata is a very important thing. It also forces you to be with yourself, correct? Otherwise, those who gossip sometimes they have some deep-rooted issue with themselves. They are not able to be with themselves. That is why they are all the time talking about somebody else. Now that is also not a good thing. The mauna vrata means then you are, and again mauna means don't go on. Nowadays the problem is what? They then take their mobile phone and all the time you are looking into the mobile phone, chatting, WhatsApp and all that. Maybe you are not talking, but then you are again trying to interact with everybody with gestures and all that. Even that is not really mauna. Mauna means you sit somewhere and be with yourself. Okay, you don't indulge in any conversation in whichever way, not just by talking, but texting and all that also you avoid. Just be with yourself. It is a good time to spend with yourself, analyze yourself, maybe look at your own behavioral patterns, thinking patterns, and even do some auto suggestion and all that, correct? Because you want to overcome certain ways of thinking your own behavior you want to change. It's a good way to reflect on all that. So Maunam is a very important thing. So overcome this tendency for loose talk or gossip, all that, by practicing Maunam. And then Dussangam Tyaja Sadhu Sangama Bala. Also keep away from bad company. So once you come to Vedanta, others may not like it. They will say that, "Whoa, you come and party with us, okay, and then take these drinks, alcohol, because they don't want you to go and leave all these things. So people will try to pull you back, but don't give in to all that. That is why satsanga is the most important thing. Initially, even the interest in Vedanta and all is only feeble, correct? How do you develop it and keep it strong? Means by being with like-minded people, by being with other mumukshus, by being with sadhus and all the sant people, other Vedantins. So now you keep company with such people. Sadhu sangama bala tyaja dussangam. So give up all this bad company. Even technology, again, bad company means nowadays you don't require physically somebody to have bad company, correct? Virtually also you can have bad company. So that also we have to address now. Even there again, technology is a double-edged sword, correct? You can use technology to listen to good YouTube lectures and things like that. Even Vedanta, so much is available on the internet and all that. So you can use that. So even in internet, sadhu sangama bala has to be there. So listen to all the Vedanta gurus and not some other useless channel, or people are mindlessly looking at videos and all that, correct? I have seen in Instagram and Facebook and all that. They just keep on scrolling and seeing some video and all that. Totally unrelated. You don't even know what you are looking at, correct? You just scroll, then see the next one, next one, next one, like that. It's not going to help you. So that is all dussanga only. Get away from bad company and keep the company of the sadhus, those who are themselves either they are in the sadhana or they are siddha purusha. They have succeeded, they have achieved whatever is to be achieved, or those who are in the path of achievement of moksha. So keep company with all these people, whether physically or virtually. Then garvam tu bange kshanat. Okay, in all these things, there is a pride and snobbery also comes for some people, correct? Spiritual people can be proud, or there is something called spiritual snobbery, correct? Certain arrogance can be there. This arrogance one need not have. Somehow you feel superior to others. You now say that I am a mumukshu. See all these useless, ignorant people. No, that's not the attitude one should have. We are all there. One day they will also have certain viveka and vairagya. So anybody can come to Vedanta, become a mukshu jijnasu. And if you have a superiority or arrogance or pride like this, in fact, you are sliding down actually. Somebody will come and actually put you in your place. That is the bhanga here. Bhanga means you can be humbled by somebody. So there is always a possibility that there are people who have achieved more than you also. Correct? So you don't have to have any pride about any achievement or wherever you are today. In fact, take it as the grace of Bhagavan. It is always a blessing. Wherever you are today, it is a blessing. It is a grace. And you can have gratitude for that. Gratitude is a beautiful thing, not pride or arrogance. Always be grateful. So many people have helped you so that you are here wherever you are today in life, and always be grateful for that. Show gratitude, but not those who are unfortunately not at the same level as you, but for them you should only have empathy, okay, and compassion, and you don't have to look down upon anybody. So because there are people above you also always. So whenever there is a taratamya or a hierarchy and all that, there are always people above, people below and all that. That is the reality. So you cannot have any pride, because you can also, if you have pride, in fact, you will be humbled by somebody definitely. That will always happen. So that is the bhanga. Bhanga ikshana means what? See the possibility that you can be humbled. Therefore, overcome any pride or arrogance or spiritual snobbery and all that. Just treat people kindly, compassionately, and friendly manner. That is very important. Because sometimes people say that now I am a Vedantin, I am a Mumukshu, I am something special. You don't have to avoid people and all that. Basically, you still accommodate everybody. That is the important thing. So, Garvam Tyaja. Then what? Ninda Dukha Anindya Deva Munibhir Ninda Katha Samskrite. So, there is a certain Ninda will still be there. Nobody can avoid that. Understand that. Ninda means what? Others are criticizing you. And many times it will be false criticism also. They have their own problems, correct? They have their own jealousy. They have their own inadequacies, complexes. So those who have a certain inferiority complex will start blaming others. If you are doing good, they will not like. All this is there. So however good you are, do not expect that everybody will appreciate that, or everybody is going to sing your praises or anything. There will be people who will criticize you unfairly. If they criticize you fairly also, you should be able to take it then. It is good only. But many times it will be unfair criticism, means just take it in your stride. That's how people are. Okay. So there is a ninda dukkha. Also you have to give up that other people are behaving in a certain way towards you. They are criticizing you. They are accusing you. They complain that you are responsible for their miseries, even though it is not real. Okay. They don't want to take any responsibility. See, most people, they don't want to take responsibility for all the whatever they are going through, their misfortune or pain or whatever it is. And there are always easy targets, correct? And mumukshus, Vedantins are easy target. Then you become the target for their frustrations and problems and all that. So they can blame you. Blame and criticism will come to you very easily. But you have to take it in your stride. Why? Because even the Devas and Munis, they are all considered to be Anindya. Means what? Normally uh, we don't criticize or blame the gods, correct, and sages. But if you read the Puranas, etc., you will see that even they have been blamed, criticized, and all that. So if this is happening to great people, then who are you then? What about you? So don't be very unhappy. In fact, if you are being blamed and criticized, it means that you have come to a certain level. I think you should take it as a badge of honor, really speaking, that people think worthy of blaming you. See, if you are not very successful in whatever you are doing, nobody will blame you, really speaking. You have not arrived. But if they are blaming you, criticizing you means you have arrived. That means, okay. So don't feel unhappy for all that. Even if some blame and criticism comes your way, take it on your chin and just move on. That's it. Because Anindya, those who are supposedly blemishless, cannot be blamed and all that, Devas and Munis, even they have been blamed and criticized and all that. All this katha, you can hear all these stories in the Puranas, correct? Or even in contemporary times, sages and all, they have also been blamed, criticized, etc. So don't think that if you are a jnani, everybody will respect you. Everybody has to do namaskar to you only. That's not going to happen. So be ready for both bouquets and brickbats. So that is the point here. So these are all some of the things. Rest of the things we'll see next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.